What one thing never fails to make you horny? Someone doing a really good job. Basically competency kink, but the person could just be super casually unloading a dishwasher, almost drop something, but catch it so smoothly I just get instantly wet. People talking about getting wet, apparently. A man with a naturally sexy voice who uses commanding language. It doesn't even have to be sexual. Just an example, I have a doctor that I see monthly. He's adorable. He has a great voice. Instead of saying okay, why don't you go sit over there? He will point and say go over there. Yes, sir. Absolutely, thank you. My feet are moving over there before he even blinks. Oh. This reminds me of one of mine. My partner has a really deep gravelly voice. Sometimes he will come up behind me and put his arms around me, then start talking. I can feel his voice resonate in his chest, and it does it for me every time. Before he figured out what it did to me, he would do that to talk about errands we needed to run or the grocery list. After a couple minutes of speaking, he'd ask if I heard anything he said, and I'd say, no, but I really enjoyed you saying it. So now he talks about silly nonsense that way and important stuff not pressed against me. My wife. She can think she looks, I never think she does, look like total shit. She can have the flu and resemble a week-old corpse. But if she walks into a room from another room, just her walk and her shape, her eyes and her voice. Goddamn. 10 years married, 14 years together, and other women can't even compete. It's not a contest. I want her. Not them. Her. I've given up on porn except when we watch it together. It's so superficial compared to the real thing that it's just silly. I can't jack it to silly. It also helps she likes to wear sexy stuff to bed, but she'd still get me going in a ski parka and parachute pants, so that's just a small part of it. Honestly, knowledge. Not in just the knowing stuff way, though I love that. Got horny from a guy knowing the exact blue book price of a car and having basic plumbing knowledge at my new place, lol. But book smarts were already there, so those are just sexy perks, but the ability to be intellectually matched and stimulated by each other is not comparable to any other factor for me. Maybe I'm just hot for teacher? I love glasses too. Not in a horny way, they just enhance a face so much. Hugh Grant? A snack. Hugh Grant in glasses? The whole meal. Intelligent and knowledgeable. I've broken up with guys because they can't get there. One of my favorite stories is the guy text with too many abbreviations, more than standard lol, brb, idk, etc. I spent more time looking it up on Google versus texting him. At one point I casually said that I needed a Rosetta Stone to interpret his texts. He asked why I needed computer software. Sigh. Yep, he had zero idea what I was talking about. I stopped talking to him immediately. I did a job shadow at the dentist, and there was a guy that came in for a cleaning. Something about how he opened his mouth and used the little vacuum thing left me breathless. Then when he was done he gave this little smirk and I died. Edit. Thanks y'all for the upvotes. Never thought so many people enjoyed this as well. My dentist held my face in his hands and we just stared into each other's eyes. It was so hot and I have had a crush on him since. My roommate likes to read me her dating app chats for fun because she uses Bumble like a Tamagotchi for boys, and easily the hottest thing a man has ever said was when he insinuated they'd then immediately stopped and said, sorry, I want to make sure you're comfortable first. We can get sexual if you want, but I don't want to pressure you. We both had to sit there for a second in silence before she goes, why do I want to him more now? Consent is sexy. Literally. I love it when men stutter while pleasuring themselves or can barely form a coherent sentence. It's so hot. Also, seeing men's bulge always does it for me, or seeing men with their out while still wearing jeans is more attractive to me than them being completely naked. It gives me the impression of desperation that you won't even change out of your own clothes due to how badly you want to be lost in your own pleasure. Congratulations, you're the prime reason why I now know why I've been enjoying sex with clothes on. I hate this about myself. But men breaking down crying during a fight. I'd like to be very clear that I do not instigate fights for this reason. It has to be like, real. But a frustrated man crying over his love for me is an instant, uncontrollable sploosh. Uck. What a lame affliction lol, why can't I just be into feet or something? I have freckles. I've had sort of a love/hate relationship with them my whole life. If someone, who I am attracted to, compliments my freckles then I just melt. Recently a guy friend, who I think is attractive but I'd been on the fence about hooking up with him, was sitting next to me at the bar we hang it at and he took my wrist, gently, and looked at my arm and said, "Your freckles are so pretty." You can guess what happened next. Good Lord, please write this in a short story Lamau. Feet, but only because I have a special sex move where I pretend I like feet just to get down there and then admit I don't, and then you're in the perfect spot to go down on them by going up on them. Works absolutely none of the time and she still hates me for it. Please come back, I'm sorry. Are you okay? Definitely not okay. Unconventional comment here. I love seeing middle-aged women in home clothing. That TikTok trend where they turn their moms into them was literally made for me. While I enjoyed seeing mothers in young clothing, seeing them in PJs and homeware literally took my soul. I have a thing for mommies. Moms in homeware like tank tops and booty shorts, with no socks. Oh god. It's extremely specific. A man with Bradley Cooper's build, slender, not too muscular or too tan, blue button-down Oxford shirt tucked in casually, sleeves slightly rolled up, but casually. Lagerfeld cologne. Now, if you are thinking of a Ralph Lauren model, no. They are too as in too many layers, too many highlights, too much pouting. My guy is just stopping by the local dive bar on his way home for a beer and a quick game of pool. Does he exist? Who knows and who cares? He's my fantasy, he doesn't need to be real. The face women do when they're horny and they know they're going to f you that night. Being on the receiving end of that is like being a bunny seeing an vagina eagle zooming towards you from the sky. Please like and subscribe for daily content. I love you. My wife. When she's done at the gym and she's wearing one of her matching sports bras workout set thingies. Or when we're at the beach and she's all sprawled out in a bikini. Or when I'm cooking breakfast on the morning and she's just wearing my t-shirt and comes up and gives me a hug from behind. Or when we're at dinner and she's wearing a dress. Or when we're playing video games on the couch and she dies this little head nuzzle thing on me, or when, you know what, my wife. My wife is what makes me horny. Being initiated on. I was visiting my girlfriend recently, and we woke up around the same time one day, snuggled in for a bit, kissed, and then she ran her fingers up my inner thigh and felt up my balls, and I think we spent 2 hours f***ing after that. The greatest feeling you can ever give a man is feeling like you want him and crave him. Initiate on him and he'll feel like a champion, because that shit almost never happens to us. Your pre-bedtime sustenance can also be the morning after mainstay. Oats are a cheap yet effective approach to promote blood flow since they are high in the testosterone-boosting amino acid L-arginine and abundant in the B vitamins. When used consistently, it also lessens the possibility of erectile dysfunction. Being come on to by a woman. Nothing beats it. Especially when they're aggressive. It's only happened a couple of times, but boy, I'll never forget them. I'll never forget when my girlfriend pushed me against the wall when we were messing around. This does it for me too, however I can't ever seem to be that way myself. I always get really anxious and unsure anytime things are starting to get sexy and I want to get a little more aggressive about it. Maybe it's cause I'm a guy and I've heard too many horror stories, both in the internet and from close friends, about dudes being aggressive. But if a girl does that to me, it gets me going on another level. I had to return to this post because something is happening to me as I type. I'm house hunting on my phone and I start picturing myself living in some of these houses when all of a sudden I have this tingling sensation in my nether regions to the thought of me being a homeowner. Anyone in their early 30s ever get this feeling about adult stuff? Disclaimer, I'm a bit higher and so that could have contributed to the tingly feelings. Edit, I want to clarify something now that I'm sober. It's the thought of being a stable adult and making adult decisions to have a better future that I was referring to. I'd if this makes it better or worse, but hope it helps. Yes, I'm early 20s and this happens quite often for me. Like, something about being an adult and making big life decisions/changes is so exhilarating. Oftentimes it's mostly butt cheeks tingles, but sometimes it spreads. Something about feeling a hand slide down my arm, especially when it comes out of nowhere. Mark me down as scared and horny, haha. Certain facial expressions. It's really weird and I don't know how or why it happens. Oh my god, I didn't expect people to see this. That's really intriguing. People always tell me that my facial expressions throw them off and they can never get an accurate read on what I'm thinking. I don't consciously do it though. All the time people ask me what was that look for/about and I'm like, WTF you mean, I didn't give you a look. It happens all the time too. I don't get it. Reading your answer sent my mind off on a tangent that made me smile, so I thought I'd share for the entertainment value. Enjoy your day, internet stranger. I don't know how to describe these expressions. And I don't know what expressions you make, so I don't know if your expressions are what the ones are that I mean. I hope you understand what I mean, because I'm really bad at explaining things, sorry.